Coach, start with offense. Again, one of those nights shots didn't fall. They defend it well. You didn't run it well. It didn't seem like it went as well as you would have wanted.
No, it's like we've talked about. We put so much on Javon that on a night where they made it hard for him to get loose and free. We got to be able to find different ways to score, and that's been our struggle. And that's where us continuing to get movement and things, setting flares and getting some down screens and some actions to free guys up, where they don't have to be like a primary ball handler, but be able to come off of something to create some space and get two on the ball. And that's just something that we got to continue to work on and get better at, but we just that's where we stall out sometimes.
Coach, would it be fair to say they were as physical with you as the team's been this year?
Yeah, I thought they did a good job. They kept the ball in front of us. Made things hard on Vaughn for sure. And I think the offensive rebounding things, those things stand out. And we've been pretty solid in Big 12 play. I think we're I think fourth in the league in defensive rebounding, and you can't give up 14 offensive rebounds. And a lot of those were just us getting into that fight a little bit tonight.
What does it say about a player like Javon when he's struggling shooting, but he's driving to the basket and he gets most of his points from the free throw line? What does it say about a player like him?
Yeah, I think he's a smart player. He knows, on a night he's not shooting it well, and out of the timeouts and stuff, is we got to get some more paint touches to create opportunities, not only for him but for others too. And I thought he did a nice job of attacking the rim and at least getting himself to the line there for a few opportunities. So, again, I thought at the end of the day, it's on a night where you go 4 for 29 from three, it's still our defense has got to be what carries us. And in the second half, when they shoot 61%, that's not good enough. And that's what I know we can do on a nightly basis, and we didn't get that accomplished tonight.
What else has to go right in a game when you shoot 31% from the field as a team? What other things do you have to do to win the game?
Yeah, it's the two things we just mentioned. You can't give up offensive rebounds, and you can't let a team shoot 61%. I mean, that's as simple as that. You're going to have a bad shooting night. Our defense needs to carry us every night. So on a night like this, if we held them to 34% again in the second half like we did the first half, even though it was an ugly half, it's 24-23. If we do that again in the second half, maybe we have a better result. But, our defense let us down tonight.
Darren, first half you had a stretch where it looked very good defensively too. I guess what disappeared, or did they change things a little bit and just found easier routes to the basket or less resistance?
I thought in the second half, some of it was just a little bit of breakdowns on our help and rotations, and we've been really good at that. In the first half, the guys were good at it. We were getting, two guys to a ball, getting some steals, raking the ball out as we call it. In the second half, I thought we got a little stretched, and I don't know if it was the urgency of trying to crawl back into it, and now they're, we're a little anxious and putting, a little more heat on the ball, and now they're driving downhill, and we got guys stepping up at the ball, and they're throwing lobs or getting offensive rebounds because we committed a second guy to the driver, and that was disappointing because that's been something that's been a strength of ours most of the year.
Because you guys are very good generally at congesting the paint, lanes, things like that. The lobs, the stepping forward, the initial action leads to a secondary reaction. Does that explain some of the point-blank baskets that in the paint that seem to accumulate sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, those are all the rotation things that, again, you got to be good at. If Eduardo Imani's going to come over, Toby's going to come over and provide help, that next defender most of the time is the guy that's got to save the day on the backside, and we just weren't there. I mean, we weren't there tonight. And some of that was, again, the dribble penetration of when you get beat, that's the ultimate first cause is if you can keep the ball in front of you, now we don't have to come over and provide help, and we were having to do that way too much tonight.
You talked a little bit about fatigue in one of the press conferences last week. A quick turnaround between games, a little bit of that maybe here, some illness amongst the team.
Yeah, I mean, we we didn't play the way we needed to play tonight, and that's what it is. We'll get some rest tomorrow, and then hopefully we'll come back with a much better edge on Thursday to get back to the way we want to play.
Anything else?
Coach, I know the way the game was being played kind of forced your hand with the full court press. What's your history with the press? Is that something you like to do? Have you done it before or often?
We've done it before, not a ton. When I first started college coaching at Creighton, Dane Altman is who I worked for, and we did a lot of full court press. It's just something we don't have the depth this year to do it for extended periods. It just felt like tonight we needed something to try to give us a spark, and thought it was worth the risk there the last 10 minutes. And I thought we were really close a couple of times. Got a couple steals, didn't convert all of them out of that, but it gave us a chance. So I give the guys credit for something we don't do a lot of in practice for that same reason. We just don't have enough bodies to do it right now. But I thought for the most part they were able to at least give us an opportunity to get back into the game.
I was going to say, obviously the depth is the big issue. So the press itself, like how far down the list of options is it?
Well, I like it to be really far down because that means we're behind, So it's something we can throw at once in a while. It's not something we want to do every day by any means.
Coach, how important was Quinton's for them, especially defending the paint in the rim?
Yeah, I thought he was great tonight. I thought the offensive rebounds, and then as you mentioned, he puts himself in the right spot when we had guys step up the floor. He's kind of sitting in the dunker, waiting for that little drop off, and he had a couple of those as well. So he was a big factor today.
Watching, from where we sit, it seemed like, for a freshman, his instincts were really good. Just where to be and how to defend.
Yeah, he's a really good player, great potential, and you saw a lot of that on display tonight.
Derek, do you feel like just in the moment here that shot selection was okay and not going to be mad when you watch the tape and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that or shouldn't have hesitated? Or
there was some. I thought we had some really good looks, that didn't go, but there were certainly plenty that I felt like we could have found something better. But to the guys' defense, when you're not getting a lot of movement, you kind of, that's what you end up falling into a lot, is maybe late clock and fairly challenged shots.
And for a stretch in the second half, Eduardo and Amani, playing them together, it seemed like you basically emptied out the list of options tonight, tried kind of kitchen sink kind of stuff.
Yeah, we were getting hurt. Toby was in some foul trouble, and they were starting to post their other big, and I think Toby probably didn't want to get his fourth or whatever, but they were starting to hurt us with that, and then we were starting to have to bring a double, and then they hurt us with that with a kick out three, so we went to the bigger lineup just to play them one-on-one, and I thought it was fairly successful for us. It's just, again, we can't do it for long periods of time. It's the only issue with that.
Thank you.